हेलो एंड वेलकम टू स्ट्राइव डिफेंस डायलॉग। आज हमारे मेहमान हैं मेजर जनरल हर्ष काकर, जिनसे हम पाकिस्तान के बारे में और इंडिया के रिलेशंस के बारे में बात करेंगे। वेलकम टू द शो सर।
थैंक यू
सर, आज हम बिना किसी बैकग्राउंड के हम सीधे सीधे आते हैं पाकिस्तान और इंडिया के रिलेशनशिप के ऊपर। आपने रिसेंटली एक आर्टिकल लिखा था जिसमें आपने कहा था कि पाकिस्तान एक समय पे जब इंडिया की प्रायोरिटी होती थी, आज उसका वो स्टेटस नहीं है कि हमको पाकिस्तान को अपने किसी और बहुत ऊंची प्रायोरिटी में रखना चाहिए, क्योंकि हमने पाकिस्तान को आउटग्रो कर दिया। पाकिस्तान का नाम जब भी आता है सर, तो तीन चार चीजों से शायद हम उसको डिफाइन कर सकते हैं: इरैशनैलिटी, अनसर्टिनिटी एंड टोटल chaos। पाकिस्तान में पॉलिटिकल इंस्टेबिलिटी की वजह से इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्रेस नहीं कर पाए, सोशल डिसऑर्डर रहा। तो सर, इस हालत में आपसे मेरा रिक्वेस्ट है सर, ब्रीफली बताइए कि ये अभी जो सिचुएशन पिछले 8-10 साल से हुई है, क्या ये हमारा वायलेंट रिएक्शन की वजह से भी एक रीजन था, या हम पास्ट में इस तरह का स्टेटस पाकिस्तान के साथ क्यों नहीं कर पाए? क्योंकि हम हमेशा पाकिस्तान के बारे में ही बात करते थे, इंडिया में कुछ भी होता था तो बाहरी ताकतों की बात होती थी सर। तो व्हाई वाज इट लाइक दैट?
See, for a long time, India was carried away with the nuclear bogey. If you look historically, Ajkal, there's a very excellent program on Netflix, Turning Point, talking about the nuclear scenario between Russia and the US. 9 episodes, very long. It gives you the history of the fear of a nuclear threat. अगर आप देखो, whether it was Kargil, it was not only in India. US का भी opinion ये था that Kashmir is a nuclear flashpoint. जब 99 हुआ था, the words that came from when Bill Clinton was the president, his aim was to diffuse the crisis in Kargil. And one of the reasons why we were unwilling to go across was expanding the conflict, क्योंकि it could lead to a nuclear strike.
Correct.
जब मुंबई अटैक हुआ, or even when we went in for Parakram, there was always that doubt that things could go nuclear. Somewhere, the risk had to be taken. And after all, when we grew up economically, when the world started realizing what India is, you realized you can take the risk. And this risk that we took was Balakot. Usse pehle also you went for a cross-border strike using your commandos. उस समय जो strike था, that strike was localized, and that could have been covered by Pak.
Correct.
Right? Balakot sent a message that you are ready for escalation. Now, whenever you look at the nuclear game between any two major powers, you take US, Russia, you take anywhere, ultimately, one side will back down and realize that the other means business. Till 99, which is why throughout the Kashmir insurgency, we were unwilling to go beyond. It was a fear that it could escalate to a nuclear strike, not with us alone. We were not that powerful a nation. Even in 99, we were not powerful. We did not have the political will. But let me tell you today, Rakesh, when you assess it, that this political will that we showed in Balakot was repeated in Ladakh, Arunachal.
Correct.
Today, the message that is gone is the government has the will.
Yes.
Like you said, there are two things that count. One is the weaponry that you have, That is the deterrent. The deterrent gets credibility provided the government has the will to use it. And when we showed the will in 2019, the message went clear, we will not back.
Correct.
Now, this message went not to Pakistan alone, it went across.
Yes. Yes.
It got repeated after, in Ladakh. Now, this messaging has been accepted globally, which is what, and meantime, you look at the way the economy is changed, you look at the way things have
Yes.
changed.
Correct.
अगर आप देखो historically, you go back to 2013, 14, around that period of time, the Indian PM, when he would go and speak in the UN General Assembly, Pakistan aata tha.
हाँ, बिल्कुल.
It was always mentioned. A visitor would come to India, there would be some mention of Pakistan.
और सर जो जो विजिट होती थी वो भी पाकिस्तान फॉलोड बाय इंडिया और इंडिया फॉलोड बाय पाकिस्तान और मोस्ट ऑफ लीडर्स.
Acha. Now, if you look at it, last year Jaishankar went. Before that, once the PM went, otherwise Jaishankar only has been going.
करेक्ट.
हम पाकिस्तान की बात ही नहीं करते.
ना हम ही नहीं लेते. एब्सोल्युटली.
The only time when Pakistan gets mentioned is when the Indian delegation exploits the right to respond to a Pakistani head of state speaking.
करेक्ट.
Pakistan ka PM has got nothing else but Kashmir to talk.
सर जस्ट वन सेक सर, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, और रिस्पांस भी कोई बहुत सीनियर लेवल पे नहीं दिया जाता है. one of the juniors that like this woman was there, she just read out the statements.
The aim is to convey a message कि भैया तुम कुछ नहीं हो हमारे लिए. We look at saying to the world, this is what India is today. This is what we are giving the world. We don't talk about these small issues. And
so sir, sorry.
No. So that is a difference which has come in. We have outgrown Pakistan. उन्होंने बोला we don't want trade, मत करो. We are not losing. You are losing.
Correct.
You are importing what India can give you at half rate, at double the rate.
Correct.
You say we don't want high commissioner, mat rakho. Who's bothered? Does it make a difference to us? No way. So we are in a stage which is vastly different. We're not telling them come and talk. We're not concerned. Mat karo. There was a time when there used to be that back channel dialogue.
Track to Aman ki Asha.
Whole lot of nonsense was running. आजकल तो कोई बात ही नहीं करता.
बात ही नहीं करता. Absolutely.
कहते हैं बाढ़ में जाओ यार. Who's bothered? So you have gone to a very different level. And we have been today, our focus, अगर आप देखो, our focus in the UN is not for resolution of Kashmir. We don't even talk about it.
Because we take it as a given fact.
Is of us coming into the UNSC and the failures of the organization.
Absolutely.
So we are way above all this nonsense.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And which is a reason which is bugging them more.
Correct.
क्योंकि उनका statement आता है, bother ही नहीं करते.
Sir.
Now,
absolutely.
So you are actually telling the world that South Asia is not the Indian interest.
Yes.
The Indian interest is way beyond.
Yes.
Today, when the world says that India is the one that can negotiate peace between Russia, Ukraine, and which is why Jaishankar said, "Hum volunteer nahi karenge."
Correct.
You ask us, we will do it. Doval was there with Netanyahu just a few days ago, 2 or 3 days ago.
Correct.
At a time when the whole world is talking about no attack on Rafah. So what he conveyed, we don't know. But definitely, India is where it matters in the world.
But sir, अगर इजराइल की बात करें तो रमजान में कुछ expected था, but it seems Israel is relentless.
No, I mean, the question is, Netanyahu's got to survive. His political future is over. If he has to come back, he has to show that I'm strong enough to come back. That's aside. But we've actually come to the stage today that for us, these things don't matter.
Correct.
For them, they are fighting with IMF. And
Hmm.
we gave one warning that we want the IMF to monitor where the money goes.
Correct.
And India is on the board of directors of IMF.
Hmm.
The US is going to push the point that we've raised because we are an important nation. So the key still remains with us. Today, which is where India now is outgrown. So for us, it means nothing. Secondly, Pakistan में किससे बात करोगे?
Correct. हाँ.
You see, as a government, we are a democracy.
Hmm.
As a democracy, formal talks are between government to government. Formal talks.
Hmm.
Back channel talks can be with the army. वो पहले हो चुका है, which is what that ceasefire came about.
Yes. Yes.
But formal talks are government to government.
Hmm.
Government to government in Pakistan, Islamabad is photo ops and Rawalpindi is decision making.
Correct.
Until Rawalpindi gives them the script कि भैया ये line होगा, ये sign होगा, ये होगा, there is no point getting into dialogue.
Absolutely.
क्योंकि वो तो कुछ नहीं कर सकता. And we are not concerned, which is what I said. Agar, if they want it within Pakistan for a government to survive without Kashmir, they cannot stay. उनको रेस करना है Kashmir and they can do nothing about it. अब we want freedom for Palestine and Kashmir. अब क्या link कर रहे हो, which makes no sense to anybody. People are laughing. अच्छा, there was a time when here it was Kashmir बनेगा Pakistan.
Correct.
अब now it is आजाद कश्मीर बनेगा इंडिया.
हाँ. और
गिलगित
ये भी
बल्तिस्तान
कहना है,
बनेगा
ये
इंडिया.
और ये भी इंटरेस्टिंग सर, ये जो दहशतगर्दी है उसके पीछे वर्दी है.
वर्दी है. So today, whatever there is has reversed.
Yes, it
You
has.
don't find Pakistan flags flying in J&K,
Correct.
but you find calls for joining India and POK.
Yes, absolutely.
So things have reversed.
सर आपको क्या ये लगता है सर समवेयर कि पाकिस्तान ने एग्जिस्टेंशियल थ्रेट, हेट्रेड फॉर इंडिया, कश्मीर, इसको बहुत इतना ओवर हाइप कर दिया है सर? वो एक टाइगर के ऊपर राइड कर रहे हैं कि वो उतर नहीं सकते सर अभी, क्योंकि अब अगर वो उतरेंगे तो खा जाएगा सर.
अगर आप क्लास 5 की उनकी किताबें खोलो, there's a
हाँ.
lovely article of 2009 or 10, somewhere around a long period back. I don't remember when, मैं ढूंढना पड़ेगा. A huge article which talks about what, and it's published in a Pak newspaper, which talks कि उनकी किताबों में क्या गलत लिखा है.
हेट्रेड. हाँ.
The hatred that has been built up, a class 5 child is taught that India is only there to attack and break Pakistan. And the sort of writing work which goes on against India, bachpan se they've been taught this hatred.
Correct.
Now, when you've taught that, the person has grown up only learning and listening to this hatred. How do you get him to get out?
Absolutely.
It's a very, very difficult proposition.
सर लेकिन जब हम पर्सन टू पर्सन बात करते हैं, आई हैव हैड occasions of doing courses with Pak officers, meeting them, and since I have the affinity, language affinity with them, लेकिन वही है सर कि जब इंडिविजुअल में बात करते हैं तो अच्छी बात करते हैं, पीसफुल, लेकिन एक वो क्राउड मेंटालिटी आ जाती है. और लाइक यू आर सेइंग कि सर वो तो अगर पाकिस्तान आर्मी आज अगर हिंदुस्तान का थ्रेट छोड़ दे तो पाकिस्तान आर्मी नहीं रहेगी सर.
See, there are 2-3 things, Rakesh, जो आपने अभी बोला. I have come across them in a number of places.
Correct.
There is an educated Pakistani and the common Pakistani. Right? The educated Pakistani has understood the game and he knows what is going on, but he is a minority. The common uneducated Pakistani, which is a majority, in his mind, a different option is put. Today it was coming on Twitter. In Japan, Pakistanis are naming
Yes,
the
so
restaurants with Indian names. Why?
correct.
कह रहे अगर हम Indian नाम नहीं रखेंगे, nobody will come.
कोई आएगा नहीं.
The reputation of the two countries, one next to
Hmm.
the other,
Correct.
in the global sphere is so different.
Hmm. Absolutely.
The other aspect, when you're talking about educated and uneducated, if you look at the Pakistan as a state, for an army to survive, you have to have an enemy.
Hmm.
Now, India is a democracy. If you don't have enemies, you can bring the army down like it's happened in Europe. So, now they are forced to raise their budgets for a different reason.
Yes.
And all their armies are hollow.
Hmm.
But in a democracy, you can afford to do it. Now, in Pakistan, the army rules the country.
Hmm.
After all, the first coup took place in the early 50s, just after
Correct.
about a few years after independence.
Correct, sir.
Now, it has controlled the country all through. To control the country, you need to have the funds, the manpower. And that can only flow if you have a designated enemy.
Correct.
And if you don't have a designated enemy, you don't need the funds, the manpower, the flow. Now, in India, the fear of a coup has ensured that the BSF, the Central Armed Police Forces, the whole lot are
Correct.
separate. Each one is independent. And their strength is more than the army strength combined.
Absolutely.
Why? Because you wanted to, at one stage, remove the fear of a coup. But in Pakistan, all of these, whether it's the Rangers, Janbaz Force, up, jo naam le lo, they're all controlled by the army because the army wants the strength.
Hmm.
And the army wants the power to control the state. So ye jo do farak hai na, and the army will not let it go.
Correct.
If you remember earlier, when I think it was possibly Nawaz who was arrested, or when, it was and his party was still in power. Somebody else had become the PM.
हाँ, sir.
The Home Minister was not allowed to enter the court
Correct.
by forces which are supposed to be under his control, the Rangers.
Correct.
Because the Rangers were manned were officered by the army. Unhone hukum diya, nobody will enter.
Correct.
And imagine the Interior Minister being told, sorry, you can't enter. He says, damn it, I'm the Interior Minister. Can I go to hell?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that is the sort of atmosphere that they have. And they control it. So the entire budget for all of this goes to them.
Absolutely. सर इसमें मेरा तो यही ऐड करने की है सर. अभी रिसेंटली आवर फॉरेन मिनिस्टर वाज एड्रेसिंग स्टूडेंट्स, सो उसमें पाकिस्तान की जब बात आई तो वेरी राइटली ही सेज कि अब हम लोगों ने फॉरगिविंग एंड फॉरगॉटन का जो सबक हमको पढ़ाया गया था वो हमने छोड़ दिया. तो वी विल नॉट फॉरगिव, वी विल नॉट फॉरगेट. तो ये मैसेज बहुत स्ट्रांगली कन्वे हुआ है. एंड इंटरेस्टिंगली सर, ये जो अभी रिसेंटली यूएस इंटेलिजेंस की एनुअल थ्रेट असेसमेंट आई है सर, ये मेरे सामने है. इट कॉल्स द इंडिया पाकिस्तान जो अभी स्टेटस है, स्पेशली विद रेफरेंस टू द लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल, ही सेज इट्स अ फ्रेजाइल काम. मतलब एक ऐसा काम जो फ्रेजाइल है, वो कभी भी टूट सकता है. एंड वेरी इंटरेस्टिंगली सर, they have also said कि Pakistan, India is likely to respond with military force to a perceived or a real threat emanating from Pakistan.
See, today you have to realize we have the force level, we have the resources, we have, by resources I mean whether it's ammunition, whether it's oil, you have everything.
So,
in Pakistan, you neither have the oil available for you for
correct.
operations, for which you need good to 2 to 3 weeks.
Correct.
You need ammunition to fight battle for that long. With the economy the way it is, it's in a very tight state. You are also divided. After all, for them, the fear is if you escalate with India, you'll have to pull out the forces that you've deployed in the northwest.
करेक्ट।
आपने नॉर्थ वेस्ट से हाथ लगाया,
हाँ
the TTP and the Baluch will take whatever they want.
हाँ, बहुत बुरा हाल है सर।
So for them, and as it is, they're losing. I mean, they keep claiming nothing, but then districts within Khyber Pakhtunkhwa are literally controlled by the TTP.
यस यस।
The Afghan army is also sitting on their head. So they cannot expect to activate too. But yes, agar Pakistan ki economy worsens, today we have the Rohingyas who come as maids in India. Tomorrow you will have the Punjabi-speaking people coming in from Pakistan, Punjab, and working as maids here. But of course, that is why luckily the whole border is fenced and that is closely monitored.
Yes.
But the situation there is actually getting out of hand, because how long are you going to keep surviving on loans?
Absolutely, absolutely. तो सर वही हो रहा था सर, पास्ट में वो डराता जा रहा था, हम डरते जा रहे थे सर।
That is where today एक lesson आपने दे दिया. You've conveyed a message that we are willing to take a risk. Let's go.
हाँ, उसके बाद अभी देखिए सर, हाफिज सईद घूम रहा है सर वहां पर. ही इज ए डेजिग्नेटेड टेररिस्ट. 31 years को.
That is something which nobody in the world can do, and they also are scared to pick him up, because the moment you start doing it, the internal angle which is currently in the northwest will start rising internally here. आपने उसको इतना लिफ्ट किया है.
हाँ.
You cannot remove him like that.
Correct. पर सर देखिए 2.5 करोड़, सॉरी सर.
नहीं, but that is where the status is.
सर 2.5 करोड़ बच्चा स्कूल से बाहर है. 54% की जो ग्रोथ है वो स्टंटेड है, और वो इस्लाम का किला बने हुए कि पैलेस्टीन है चाहे कश्मीर है. तो सर कई बार मेरे को लगता है कि इतना ज्यादा इमोशनल डोज के ऊपर इतने सालों से रखा हुआ है सर उनको.
That is how they are trying to survive as a nation. You see, if you look at it today, Saudi Arabia has grown out of it.
Correct.
The UAE has grown out of it. It is only the poorer nations like possibly Libya, parts of, Syria, where you are trying to, and Palestine, where you're trying to keep people bound together on this basis. Now, nations where the level of education, where the level of understanding has improved, a lot of things have changed.
Yes. Absolutely.
But where it has not happened, you will find that problem remaining.
तो सर अभी अगर ये कोई आप मतलब इफ क्रिस्टल ग्लेजिंग करें सर कि फ्यूचर का कोई नियर टर्म, मिड टर्म, लॉन्ग टर्म कोई रिप्रोचमा देखते हैं या पाकिस्तान को? आई नो इट्स स्पेकुलेटिव, बट जिस तरह से ये चल रहे हैं सर कि क्या होने वाला है पाकिस्तान का, aren't they realizing the mistake that they are committing sir? परेशान तो बहुत है वो कि हमें कोई पूछ ही नहीं रहा है.
You see, I think 2-3 things are likely to happen. They've said we want a loan more than the normal quantum.
Yes.
Possibly one of the conditions is going to be to cut the defense budget. You want this? This is what we want to see. We want a cut here, we want a cut there, we want a cut. Because they have no option but IMF. They go to China, the rates are going to be too high, they can't afford to repay. The other terms and conditions will be immense. Instead of directly saying approach India, they're going to be pushed. Take the first step. Approach India, start looking for a solution. And that first step, the pressure is not going to come from anywhere else, because, see, there are few things that are very clear. Saudi Arabia, UAE are not going to provide them what they need.
No.
Saudi Arabia and UAE are investing in India. Reliance ka Jamnagar, the Jamnagar refinery is all foreign investment. There is no way Pakistan can touch it, though it is very much within range.
Yes.
They dare not. So as far as these guys are concerned, if you look, it's the UAE's major investment coming into Kashmir.
यस, मॉल बना रहे हैं
They are
पूरा
the,
फुल फ्लेज.
they are the ones who are investing maximum there.
यस,
Saudis are investing. Saudis are tying up with Ambani and Adani.
करेक्ट सर.
UAEs are doing it. Qatar is doing it. So there is no way that these guys can try anything here. Now the final nail in the coffin is going to come from the IMF. Moment they say cut your defense budget by half, Pakistan will be jumping. They may not say half, they will give them a figure to cut out.
सर इधर
It may not come in public domain.
मेरा एक
But
क्वेश्चन
it
आपसे
is
ये
bound to.
Sorry. हाँ
हाँ
सर,
नहीं,
प्लीज
it is
फिनिश.
bound to come. हाँ नहीं ये है, that's it. हाँ.
सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन यहाँ बनता है सर, जब पाकिस्तान को क्रिएट किया गया तो देयर वाज अ जियो स्ट्रेटेजिक लोकेशन ऑफ पाकिस्तान वाज वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट फैक्टर्स, जिसमें कि जैसे कि हिस्ट्री है, पहले यूएसए वाज नॉट इन फेवर ऑफ पार्टीशन ऑफ इंडिया, एंड देन लेटर व्हेन मिस्टर जिन्ना आर्ग्यूड एंड दैट जियो स्ट्रेटेजिकली किस तरह से उसका एडवांटेज ले सकता है. तो सर एक साइड से उस वक्त उन्होंने उसकी आर्मी को मजबूत किया सर, they were part of सीटो सेंटो सर, हर तरह का दिया, असला बारूद टैंक, एवरीथिंग वाज गिवन टू पाकिस्तान इन दैट टाइम. इन रिटर्न ऑफ कोर्स पाकिस्तान ने यूएसएसआर का सर्वेलेंस के लिए अपने अड्डे दिए सर, स्पेशली दैट बड़ा बेर टुवर्ड्स अफगानिस्तान. सर आज क्या वो जियो स्ट्रेटेजिक पोजीशन उतनी ही इंपॉर्टेंट है या देयर इज सम चेंज इन दैट? बिकॉज अगर वो आर्मी का बजट कट करते हैं तो दैट either they were wrong at that time or something has changed now.
See, those days the scenario keeps changing.
Haan.
Pakistan was supposed to be, that time you wanted Pakistan to survive because firstly it was the link between the US and China.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Okay. Secondly, India started moving closer to the Soviet Union. India was non-aligned. Nehru refused to get close to the US. He wanted to stay away from all powers initially. Subsequently, of course, the Soviet Union came into play. But we were always inclined towards the Soviet Union.
Yes.
So India was looked at it differently. It is only when we got out of the non-aligned mode and we decided to change our pattern and our economy started improving and the world started realizing where India is. Automatically, when you look at the two, Pakistan may have its own location as a link to Central India, to Central Asia. Today, that is what it was. I mean, it was a link because Central Asia then was part of the USSR. Today, they're independent nations. But the fact is they are under strong Russian influence and Chinese influence.
Correct.
So the US knows it doesn't have much of a role there. Then throughout Afghanistan, Pakistan was the one through which everything went. Whether it was the air, whether it was Karachi port, everything was Pakistan. Which is why they were protected to some extent. But now, everything has changed. They don't need Pakistan anymore for Afghanistan. The Soviets are no longer, the Russians are no longer in Afghanistan. There is no requirement. So the geostrategic location today, Pakistan can actually play a role between linking up South Asia with Central Asia. But the problem is it doesn't want to open the CPEC to India. If India doesn't use the CPEC, who's going to use it?
Correct.
China doesn't pay for using the CPEC.
और बहुत पहले जो तापी की बात होती थी सर, दैट गैस लाइन, वो हुई नहीं सर.
हुई नहीं
तो ये बैठे अभी सर ये वही कहता ना, ये तो रेंट लेते रहे अपनी फौज का, उससे अच्छा ये अपने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर हमारे को बनाने देते उसके थ्रू, और दे कुड हैव यूज्ड देयर ज्योग्राफी की लीगली और ठीक तरीके से उसका रेंट लेते, लेकिन ये तो अपनी आर्मी को. Correct.
So today what are we doing? We are no longer looking at the CPEC. Otherwise, that would have been the best route to Central Asia.
Correct.
So where have we switched now? We have switched via Iran, and we are coming in via the North-South corridor.
Correct.
So which is why we are concentrating on Chabahar. And you look at it. Afghanistan wants to reduce dependency on Karachi. it is also investing in Chabahar.
वो हाँ चाबार में इन्वेस्ट कर रहा है अफगानिस्तान. That's very interesting.
So what is the intention? The intention is, what is Pakistan going to gain? CPEC is only being used by China. China doesn't pay.
Correct.
So with the bargain, and today India, Iran, Afghanistan, we are using Iran for Afghanistan. We are preferring using the sea. So that is where it is. So
तो सर इसी के बारे में अगर थोड़ा सा मैं आपको और आगे लेके जाऊं सर, चाबार का जो हमारा एक वो था, तो उसके थ्रू अभी भी हमारे को ज्योग्राफी स्टिल विल फेवर अस सर, अगर हम इसको कल को पाकिस्तान में थिंग्स चेंज और समथिंग ऑफ दैट सॉर्ट, या वी आर ओके विद इट सर?
See, we are okay with Chabahar because one doesn't know how long will things change within Pak. If it changes, yes, the road run is there, but then from Chabahar, you still have the route made out.
Correct, sir.
And now with Iran, Russia close. So there is no problem at all for us. So we've actually got a good access from there. Afghanistan is approachable. We've been sending most of the aid to Afghanistan through Chabahar, or we are overflying Iran.
Correct, sir. Absolutely.
We don't have to overfly Pakistan.
और रोड हमारे बिहारों ने बना दिया, हेरात से अंदर की तरफ से पूरा रोड.
That's it. Which is why today Iran wants to come and Afghanistan wants to invest in Chabahar because it knows this is the best access to use. Pakistan कभी चमन border crossing बंद कर देता है, कभी कुछ करता है. So you're going to come via Iran. The income to Pakistan, Karachi will drop more.
Yes, I was about to say that. सर कहीं ये पाकिस्तान ओवर ए पीरियड टाइम नॉर्थ कोरिया तो नहीं बन जाएगा सर? बिल्कुल everybody is going to isolate it.
You never know the way it's going to go. It's only going to be backed by China, which is where it is.
That's what I was.
So the moment it takes IMF loan, America holds the key. After all, the loan is going to get disbursed in bits and pieces. It is not going to go in full strength.
Correct, sir. तो वही है सर कि अभी इतना इरेशनैलिटी चारों तरफ फैला दी है पाकिस्तान ने कि अब एक्चुअली इट्स वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट कि निकलेगा कैसे सर उधर से. कैरी ऑफ दैट्स देयर प्रॉब्लम इन एनी केस. सर डू वी हैव, सॉरी सर प्लीज.
नहीं, इट इज देयर प्रॉब्लम. हाँ बोलो.
यस सर, what do we learn from the entire state? Because why I'm drawing your attention to कि अभी हम लोगों का थोड़ा that image is going around that we are getting more and more, exhibitionist, if I may use the word or something, about I will put it कि nationalism का थोड़ा सा overdose हो रहा है. तो do we have something to learn from the way Pakistan has gone कि हमको we should concentrate only on progress and economic well-being?
I think we are moving in the right direction. You see, today when you are the 5th largest economy, when you are the 3rd largest military power, you have a responsibility beyond your shores.
Correct.
We cannot look inwards. I mean, Trump is the one who will say America first and that is it, because there is literally no manufacturing within.
Correct.
But today you are the one who's attracting the market, so everything is changing inside.
No, my aim of asking you this question was that let's concentrate on what we are doing and must continue the way we are doing. I think we are, like you very rightly said, sir, we are heading towards the correct direction. North ठीक हो गया, sir. Sir, I think now we'll move on to questions, sir. We have,
please.
This is just 1 minute, sir. There is some issue. Okay, sir. General Ajay Chaturvedi has asked, the hyphenation of Pakistan is part of a diplomacy which is robust and based on QPQ.
Quid pro quo, right?
Absolutely. And this was a very interesting comment. He says, I'm reminded of an old song which sums up Pak feeling. Unko ye shikayat hai ki hum, that is India, kuch nahi kehte. एंड एक्चुअली सर इट इज करेक्ट, उनके चैनल बहुत बोलते हैं कि हिंदुस्तान इंडिया तो अभी बात ही नहीं करता हमारे बारे में.
अब नाउ यू लुक, जब इलेक्शंस आएंगे इंडिया में, दे ओनली बी जंपिंग देयर.
यस.
हु इज
यस.
बॉदर्ड? उनके
नहीं
इलेक्शन
सर
चल
ये,
रहे थे, हु वाज बॉदर्ड?
हाँ एब्सोल्युटली. अब सर देखिए ना, उस कंट्री में भी जिसको वोट किया वो पावर में ही नहीं है सर. तो मतलब पूरे 25 करोड़ के लोगों की, आई मीन इट्स एक्सट्रीमली. Sir, there are two, three questions regarding this. Though we are also planning a program on this, so I thought I will just flash it, sir. How to convince Indians that they should not go to Pakistani YouTube channel nor invite them to Indian channels?
I think, firstly, that's difficult to convince. Secondly, those who go to convey a viewpoint. But it is, I mean, if you're going down to, there's one thing which is a one-to-one discussion,
Correct.
and which is where you can convey your viewpoint and leave it at that. The other is a panel discussion. Now, in a panel discussion, what happens is you are literally facing, which is what happens even on an Indian YouTube channel when Kamar Chima or someone comes onto Republic TV or one of those channels. The poor man is alone and there are 5 people
Yes.
mounting.
Bouncing.
That is stupidity, but then he's coming in because of dollars, that aside. But frankly, that is something which should be avoided, because you are not in a position to convey your viewpoint when you come on a panel discussion.
I think sir वही है, ये हमारे ऑडियंस के लिए ज्यादा है सर, टीआरपी के लिए कि
and on a one-to-one, the discussion is still more mature, and it is a conveying of viewpoints which is still logical.
Yes, absolutely. Sir, one of the major reasons everybody talks about is कि जो institutions हैं पाकिस्तान में, they've been compromised, sir. तो
they've all been compromised.
They've all been compromised. So
Absolutely.
Mr. Kumar Gopalan, in that context, has asked a question.
If you look at it, see, if you look at Kumar Gopalan's question, the very simple answer to this was the statement given by the Rawalpindi commissioner.
Yes.
When he resigned and said that the Chief Justice of Pakistan was also involved in the rigging. He was part of the team which had been, after all, he was anti-Imran. Imran was the one who had issued that notice against him, and he had to defend himself in the Supreme Judicial Council.
Correct, sir, correct.
In fact, the judiciary in Pakistan is literally controlled. वो थोड़ा बहुत drama करेंगे here and there, but they know what decision they're going to give at the end.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You may release him, you may release him. And in fact, the last Chief Justice was appointed by Imran. He tried desperately to support him.
Correct.
But the day he left, everything collapsed.
Absolutely. Sir, वो problem वही है ना सर कि अगर judiciary one of the pillars of democracy वही compromise होगी तो democracy का तो कोई chance ही नहीं है सर वहां पर आने का.
That is, I mean, and it is compromised because after all, if you look in a state, maximum corruption is where? Absolutely. It's in the army top brass.
Absolutely.
एक को भी कहीं खींचा हुआ है. Not one is being questioned.
Correct.
अब, whether a prime minister or anyone else who's involved in anything, Panama Papers for Nawaz Sharif was nothing. No investigation. But he went in because they wanted to remove him. Tell me one general who's been questioned so far. Everybody knows that famous guy, kaun sa tha wo, that pizza parlor owner.
Papa John's.
Papa John's owner.
Papa John's owner.
It is evident. But who's questioned him? Can the judiciary, can the investigative agencies question them? No. So what is, so automatically indicates everything is compromised.
Absolutely. So Shritik Kothari has asked a very interesting question. He says, at what point does Pakistan become so weak or irrelevant that we will seldom feel the need to talk about them? Because even now, when they are on their knees, they still attract a lot of our attentions.
See, our attention towards Pak is because it's a neighbor. In a similar manner, we discuss Nepal, we discuss Bhutan, we discuss Bangladesh, we discuss Sri Lanka. So, because they are our neighbors, what happens within, in some form, has an income, has an interest. Relevance comes, if they were relevant, we would have been looking for talks. After all, we're two nuclear powered state, both enemies.
Correct. Hmm.
The fact that we are not even looking at them government to government, the
Hmm.
discussion is at our level,
Correct, sir.
where we as common citizens are discussing the issue. At the
Correct, sir.
government level, there is no mention of Pakistan. कभी
Absolutely.
पीएम के एक स्पीच में पाकिस्तान का मेंशन नहीं है.
Hmm.
People ask the foreign affairs minister and he says
Huh.
ignore Pakistan.
Ignore.
So frankly, at the government level, Pakistan is irrelevant today.
Hmm. Absolutely.
But for us who monitor the environment, who see what happens in the neighborhood, who assess what happens in the neighborhood, it has a different value.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sam Keating asks, sir, this country barely has any money or food supplies. Yet I see them conducting large scale exercises every few weeks or months. How come there's no backlash from the people to this obstinacy?
See, they don't have funds. There is no
Yes.
doubt about it. They don't even have much of oil. But the exercises that you're doing are not doing it at the scale at which India does or the rest of the world
Hmm.
does. You are
Correct.
doing what we who've gone through the process in the armed forces know are called skeleton exercises.
Correct.
In skeleton exercises, you employ very limited troops with large gaps to display what your intent is.
Correct.
And you have to do it at regular intervals to tell your neighbor that we are also prepared. How effective is the exercise? All that is being closely monitored, and that would have been of concern had it been really serious exercises like the way India has done now.
Correct.
So there is a
Sir,
difference. If you look, Pakistan planes rarely fly. If you monitor
yes.
the Air Force aircraft, they rarely fly because oil.
Hmm. Correct. Sir, if you don't mind, we may have to extend the session a bit
हाँ
than
ठीक
normally
है
what we do because there are a lot of questions, sir.
ठीक है
So, the question is Qadiani Azhar Nawab Mirzai Ahmadi. The geography of Pakistan remains crucial for trade between India, Iran, and Afghanistan. There is no alternative to Pakistan in facilitating trade between India and Iran. I think we have answered this question, sir. Anything
I
you want
think
to add, sir?
I just want to add on to it that you see, India-Iran trade, we prefer it by ship. There is no need to go via Pakistan. And
Sir,
we're using Chabahar, which we are developing as a
correct, sir.
port to
Absolutely.
basically link up with Afghanistan as also with the Central Asian nations,
Correct.
which is the North-South corridor. And the North-South corridor is almost effective, and that is how our trade with the Central Asian nations, as also Russia, through this route is taking place.
Correct.
And Afghanistan is also with us in Chabahar. So Pakistan really has no means, no value unless you want to do a road move. And a road
Absolutely.
move through Pakistan has been a big problem when we had to send the wheat. So we're now sending everything through Chabahar.
Sir John Chaturvedi has added this. India's investment in Chabar and railway lines of Chabar, Jayadin, and to Zaranj has
Yes, correct.
increasingly reduced the relevance of
Correct.
Pakistan. That's
Correct.
correct. That's correct. Sir, we go on. Again, there are questions about YouTubers, channel people are
We've covered that.
asking. We have already covered it, sir. The repetition of same question, gentleman has said. Please don't do this. We have already received it.
No, but the fact is, you see, some people feel that I mean, I went once with Chima, I'm talking about, I think, 3-4 years ago. That was,
Sir.
during the Ladakh crisis. I've also gone with Azmi. Now, in those, of course, when he comes here, he has to defend Pakistan. That's a different ballgame. When he's on his channel, he has to
Sir.
defend, he
Correct, sir.
has to criticize India. So
Yeah,
that is how people work, and there is no doubt about it.
absolutely.
But that is the way things are.
Sir, Colonel RP, I'll just flash the question. I will tell you the
Uh,
brief because I'm just looking for it. Colonel RP said that haven't we spent too much of time trying to say that Pakistan is our main adversary, and neglected China for so long? Yes, I found the question.
Absolutely right. I'm
Sir.
absolutely right. In fact, right from the beginning, you see, there is something which we have to understand our own psyche. From the time we were children in class 2, 3, our
Sir.
geography books told us the Himalayas are a barrier to the north.
Yes. Yes.
All India's invaders historically came from the west.
Hmm.
So our mental focus was the west,
Hmm.
and we tended to ignore the north.
Correct.
Secondly, you are more comfortable dealing with Pakistan than dealing with China. All the way down till almost 2020,
Hmm.
the thought process of India was we will handle China diplomatically and Pakistan
Ah,
militarily.
correct.
That is how we handled it two front.
Absolutely. Correct, sir.
Yes, very right. Galwan and Ladakh were an eye opener.
Yes.
And we realized I have questioned it for decades.
Hmm.
While in the army, why the hell do you need three strike corps against Pakistan? कोई requirement ही नहीं है.
नहीं थी सर.
How deep are you going to go? After all, you're looking in a nuclear scenario, cold start, 25
Hmm.
kilometer, 30 kilometer, 50.
बस
What the hell do you need this very massive
correct.
bambusra for?
Sir.
Today, you've taken that thought process and you've now switched focus.
Huh.
The switching of focus should have been done long back.
Yes.
In fact, not only General VK, well before VK,
Yes.
you look at the time of the defense minister,
George Fernandez,
George,
sir.
George
George
Fernandez.
Fernandez. He was
He
the
had
first
said
one to
China
say.
is the main adversary.
Correct.
So he never took that.
Hmm. Because people got after him, na sir. That how can
Ah,
you inside उस
because
time पर
because
George
we were
Fernandez
looking.
was
See, I'll give you another link to this because we were looking at China diplomatically. We always considered ourselves weaker to China till Ladakh happened,
तो
till
सर
Galwan happened.
अभी तक सर वेरी रिसेंटली हम लोग ये भी कहते थे कि नो नो वी डोंट हैव fear of two front war. There will be one front for and the other front will be taken care of diplomatically.
That is what
But
I'm saying. That is where the whole thing was.
correct. Sir, there is one question not very connected to the topic, but JV JB has said, what disturbance and interference do you think Pakistan establishment can create in our Punjab in the next 5 years? They use Pakistan Punjab to interfere in our Punjab.
Not exactly Pakistan, Punjab to interfere, but they are desperately trying to revive the Khalistan movement. The reason why they're trying to do it is J&K has gone down. They're hoping that they will be able to revive this and try and link it up with J&K in some time frame.
Hmm.
So that is what they're trying to do, which is why you find the maximum source of drugs today by drones coming into Punjab, weapons being dropped into Punjab. They're feeding the Khalistani movement, which is in US, Canada,
Hmm.
hoping that they will incite the public within Punjab to rise. That is not happening. But they're hoping to create that sort of an environment uh, within Punjab so that it becomes another problem for the government of India.
Right, sir. Sir, there is a question. I'm flashing it because we want to be absolutely objective. Zahid Khan has a view. Pakistan has become an object which Mr. Jaishankar has estimated to be irrelevant. What do you say about India, which has become Hindutva state, ethno-religious, extreme rightist, fanatic country? Sir, ये है. This is the feed which
Hold
people
on,
are.
hold on.
Sir, आप please
No,
take
no.
on, sir.
Yeah, you see, you have to understand that there is a lot of fear about a right, not of fear actually. I would say that there is a lot of misconception about a rising India, especially with the colonial powers,
Yes.
the former colonial powers. They believed, as Jay Shankar had very rightly said, that the West believes it's got the God-given right to criticize.
Yes.
So for them, anything that happens in India is a right to criticize. And the reason why they do it is because the country that they had colonized
Hmm.
is today sitting above them, whether it's economically, whether it's militarily, whether it's global outreach, whether it's a global respect. Today, they have to come to India and say, we want a free trade agreement.
Yes.
India doesn't have to go to them.
Correct.
So there is a world of a difference
So
in the way
there is a
India
connected
was.
question you can take on this also. So
Ex-
sorry for interference.
I'll come down one second
Okay.
because I'll break my trend of
Sorry,
thought.
sir. Sorry. I
So,
thought you finished.
so what happens is they are looking for reasons to project India as something different.
Hmm.
Now, today, when you say that India is Hindutva, what do you mean by that? India has not said that Hindu, like Pakistan or other nations say we are an Islamist nation. India has not made any such announcement.
No.
It is not. Today, everybody has an equal right to vote. Everybody has an equal right to come to power in any appointment. We've had presidents who've been from every religion.
Yes.
So there has been nothing of any sort. But the feeling that is coming in is because the nation is standing together and rising.
Correct.
And this sort of a fear that has come in that India is getting too powerful. And then that is where it's going. Pakistan claims I'm an Islamist nation. Has India said we are a Hindu India? No.
Absolutely.
That's a difference. The elections that were held in Pakistan, everybody knows how they were rigged.
Absolutely.
Nobody is going to say the same in India. Because everyone's got the same footing. So there is a world of a difference. Yeah. Sorry. Now you can go ahead.
Sorry, sir. I thought this is a connecting question. Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
okay, one second. To Muslim refugees.
He says Zain Khan denying citizenship. She's answered, or he is answered Zaid the previous question. Denying citizenship to Muslims refugee from Pakistan.
No, it's for
Afghanistan.
us. Let's say one thing. You are looking at suppressed minorities.
Correct.
Are Muslims suppressed minorities in a nation which claims to be Islamist? How can they be? That is what the entire agenda behind the government act is. You are looking at minorities, Sikhs, Christians, Jains, Hindus. You're looking at suppressed minorities, not majority.
Those who've been prosecuted in their country. How can a Muslim be prosecuted within a Muslim country?
No. If he's prosecuted, it means he's done something wrong. So why should we worry about it?
No, why should you? So not because of religion. No?
Correct.
He's not.
Correct.
Correct. So this is religious persecution, and that's why this effort. And
Correct.
otherwise, sir, a Muslim may not be accepted under CA, but otherwise, the normal citizenship rule, after all, Adnan Sami has been granted.
That remains.
Sir. Okay. I think there are a few questions from Mr. Zaid Khan and Nawab Mirza. We have taken on the questions. Since we have to take few more.
Okay.
You are welcome to come on to the next episode of ours. We will continue with this discussion. And with respect to PLA at Galwan, how Indian Army has acted, we will definitely answer when you come on to that podcast, because then we are deviating from our main this thing. Okay. Sir, I think by and large we have addressed most of the questions. And in fact, General Sudhakarji has just entered, and he's sent his regards to you, sir. Sir, that's all I think, sir, we have. I'll just request you to please sum up what we have discussed today, and for ease of our viewers who have joined slightly late, sir.
See, today what we actually discussed was the way India has outgrown Pakistan. We don't look at it. At one time, it was at the forefront of foreign policy, dialogue with Pakistan, peace with Pakistan, looking to ease tensions with Pakistan. Today, we don't talk about it. The government to government doesn't talk. We may discuss it in forums like this. But as far as the government is concerned, it has overgrown Pakistan. An economy 10 times more than Pakistan. A military power far more powerful.
Correct.
India is a voice at the global level. whether it's Ukraine, whether it's Israel, Gaza, whether it's anywhere. In fact, there was a statement which was made. I'm forgetting the person. I've got that in one of my articles. I think it is in the article that I'll be putting tomorrow, which is on the Chinese economy. The statement read that without India, no issue in the world can be discussed, whether
Absolutely.
it's climate change,
Correct.
whether it's UN reforms, whether it's a crisis in terms of Ukraine, Gaza, or anywhere else in the world. India is essential on the table for any discussion.
Hmm.
So today we are not concerned with South Asia, we're more looking towards the world.
Correct,
That
sir.
is the India that is today. And therefore, for us, what is happening across is something which we are not concerned with. We've conveyed our message post Balakot. We've made it absolutely clear that we are willing to escalate in case you want to.
Hmm.
We will not back down. And that is what we have conveyed, and we will continue doing that.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been a extremely good discussion we've had, and for the benefit of our viewers, we do not discuss the topics and the threads in advance. These are based on our thoughts and questions and answers. We pick up the thread from each other, and that's how we have arrived at whatever conclusions, whatever recommendations and analysis General Kakkad has given. And I will now request. In fact, there are still questions which are coming in, but unfortunately, we'll not be able to take on. I will request all our viewers to put this question into comment. We will try and answer it in the comments, because then we will go on with. There are very interesting questions that are coming now, and so you can put it in the comments, and I'll request our viewers to please like this channel, put comments, because like I had mentioned in the previous one, more likes and more share and more comments, actually the algorithm of YouTube picks it up and throws it up for more people to view it. And we will you are requested to please tell your friends to subscribe to our channel. You can see the QR code on right top of the screen. In case you want to contribute to our channel, you are most welcome. Thank you very much, sir. And very soon, as I keep reading your article, I keep getting ideas, sir. And then I keep requesting you, and very nice of you that you accept our invites at the earliest. Though you are our senior member in the Strive, so we have the right on you, sir.
Thank you. Pleasure being here. Always a pleasure.
Thank you very much, sir, and Jai Hind, sir.
Jai Hind. Bye.